In today's video, we are going to be opening up the new ST-11 Uta Side Deck. This is the new sort of starter deck that's been released that has a new green Uta leader that centers around the film type cards. Now, there's not a lot of new cards in this deck specifically, which is why I haven't made a starter deck list video. So I'm gonna just go through the effects in this video itself while we open this deck, because there's a lot of things that are not really great about this deck that I want to talk about in this video as well. So sit back, relax, we're gonna open this up, take a look at the cards, and then have a little discussion about ST-11, the Uta Side Deck. Okay, so this is the Uta Side Deck itself. It is the same size as the, I believe it's ST-8 and 9, the Black Luffy and Yellow Yamato side deck. So we're going to take a look at this. We're going to open it up right now. And the thing is, this is mostly a deck that has a lot of reprints. And it's from mostly OPO2, which is the Straw Hats film package. If you guys have not seen it, we'll take a look at it in a little bit. We're going to open it right now. Here is how the deck looks like. Okay, so it looks like you do get your Dawn. So this is a slightly cheaper deck to pick up. It is I got it for about 13 Singapore dollars at a random store. Yeah, there's just a lot of cards in here that I just reprint. So first of all, they give you 10 Dawns. That's great. And here is the Uta leader herself. So I'm gonna put the rest of the cards right here, and we're just gonna take a look. So here is the Uta leader herself. I mean, it looks great. It's a great new green leader, and I'm definitely loving that I can add this to my collection. The effect is pretty great as well. I've got to flash it on screen, but let's just read it out. Dawn 1, when attacking, reveal one card from top of your deck and add up to one film type card to your hand, and place the rest at the bottom. Every turn, if you attack with Uta with one Dawn, you get to essentially draw one if the card that you reveal is a film type card. So we're gonna put it right over here so you can take a look at the rest of the cards. And in this, you do only get 2 of the super rares, just like how they do it in the like starter decks and side decks. And this Uta specifically is actually really quite good. It's a blocker, and at the end of your turn, you may trash one event card from your hand and set one of your film type characters as active, so you can, you know, restand a blocker Luffy that you have attacked with. But you only do get 2 of this, so that's unfortunate. And then we move on into some of the other events, which are the only new cards in this deck. So starting with New Genesis, the event cards are based on Uta's song. So if your leader is Uta, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to one film type card other than New Genesis and add it to your hand, then place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order and set up to one of your Dawn cards as active. So essentially, you're paying 1, and you're using this, and then you get the Dawn back as active. So it's essentially almost a free event card as long as your leader is Uta. And it's just good searcher if you want to continue your plays. If you couple it with like Uta's innate leader ability, then that's great. You get like a lot of card advantage that way. But you do get 2 copies of this. I wish they gave like a full 4. But yeah, you know, Bandai gotta make that money. And then here is Backlight. 2 cost event card. Main, if your leader is Uta, choose 1. Rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. And KO up to one of your opponent's rested characters with a cost of 5 or less. So very versatile event card if you're using Uta as a leader. And yeah, I think this card is a really great, and I would love to see more people experiment with this. But you would need to pick up, you know, 2 copies of the starter deck just so you can properly utilize this card. And then the last new card in this deck is actually I'm Invincible, based on one of the Uta songs as well. Let me just get it right in the center. And then its main setup, one of your Uta leader is active. So you can attack with Uta, put a bunch of Dawn on Uta, attack, pay 3 Dawn, and restand it. So it's almost Eustace Kids-like ability, but on an event card. Up to 1, and then the trigger ability is up to one of your leader or character gains 1000 power during this turn. They do give you 4 of this, so that's great. And then the kind of disappointing thing about this deck is that the rest of the cards are essentially just reprints. So you get 4 copies of the vanilla Usopp from OPO2. You get 4 copies of Jinbei vanilla from OPO2. I'm just going to go through them quick. You probably already know this effect. If you don't, you can check out some of my other videos that talk about OPO2 cards. And we got the plus 2000 chopper counter from OPO2 as well. And then 4 copies of Trafalgar Law which isn't even majorly used in a lot of film-based decks nowadays. Yeah, unfortunately. And of course, 4 copies of my Bay Nico Robin right here. Also not commonly used in any film archetype, unfortunately. Gotta put them down right here. Next, 4 copies of the 5-cost 7000 vanilla Frankie from OPO2 as well. And then the kind of strategy that makes the film archetype work is 4 copies of the Brook right here, which allows you to put out a 3-cost or lower film type card or Straw Hat Crew, if I believe, and put it out on the field for free. And then we have 4 copies of the 7-cost Luffy. This is one of the most important linchpin of this deck because it's not only a blocker, but it does let you play out a 4-cost character that has film or Straw Hat Crew type from your hand. So essentially you play Luffy into Brook and then you can play out probably a 3-cost Usopp or something like that. And you also do get 4 copies of the 4-cost 6000 powered vanilla Zoro, which is great. Also heavily used in the film archetype deck. And then lastly is the 3-sword style Onigiri. We get 4 copies of that. Counter up to one of your leader character against plus 6k during the battle, and then play up to 1 character card with a cost of 3 or less with no base effect from your hand. And the trigger ability is rest up to one of your opponent's leader or character cards with a cost of 5 or less. So that's the entire deck. And I have to mention why this is not a great deck to pick up. And this is kind of me just putting out my opinion. It's great if you want Uta, if you want the new cards, and if you want a different leader to use with the film archetype, which is Uta itself. But it does not provide you with the core engine piece that makes the deck work, which is specifically the 3-cost Nami from OPO2, the super rare. And I feel like they could have given you that. At this price point, seeing how Nami has not really kind of been crazy in prices, they should have put at least 2 copies maybe, or a full playset in this deck, just so out of the box you are ready to go. Then you can have multiple avenues of searching out the film archetypes. We got Nami, you got Uta card draw ability, and you have New Genesis as well. And that's the downside of this. So who is this deck for? That's what I want to talk about mostly. The deck is for someone that is completely new to the game. That's my analysis for this deck. If you are starting out and you need a deck that's ready to go, because the core package, most pieces are there. So all you need to do is pick up 4 copies of the Searcher Nami and then put it in, and then some other good green 2k counters, maybe some other cards that could be really good in like just generally good in green. And then if you want, you can get 2 copies of this starter deck, and then you can get your full playset of the Uta blocker, New Genesis, and all of the other event cards that they gave you. And then you have a ready to go film type deck that will perform admirably or pretty well depending on how the meta game goes. We are currently in OPO5 at your locals or whatever. But other than that, as a product itself, I feel like this is not the best that Bana has put out after coming out of ST-10, the ultimate deck, which is a deck that has a significantly higher price point. For sure, it has a lot of goodies in there, as well as like a deck box and all. But for a side deck, starter deck, that only has like majority reprints, I feel like they should have other film type events or more songs based on Uta's, or more cards based on Uta's songs, essentially, so that they don't have to reprint. Majority, like 80% of the deck is just OPO2 reprints, and that I feel is a little bit disappointing of a product coming from this game. This is the first time that I have ever felt this way when it comes to a starter deck. Even the side deck Luffy and side deck Yamato, there were a lot of really decent cards that you can play in other decks. But the new cards in this is mostly tied to Uta as a leader. So yeah, maybe if you have more decent green film type cards, then it will make this product a huge pickup. But if you are watching this and you are a new player, then I highly recommend, if you don't have any decks at all and you just want to get into the game, then I can highly recommend this deck to play. If you are a returning player or you have majority of OPO2, if you've been playing from OPO2 onwards and you have the cards, I would say get it if you want the Uta leader as well as some of the new cards, but it's really hard to justify because I don't really know how strong the deck is, especially how strong this leader could potentially be in the future. But aside from these 3 cards and potentially maybe some of the new songs out there, then it's a decent pickup. Other than that, I feel like this is the first deck I would say that you can potentially give it a miss, especially if you don't like playing the film archetype. Get it if you love Uta, get it if you love playing the film archetype, but other than that, this is a product that is only specifically for a certain type of player, and that's my analysis on it. However, I do think that the Uta leader is really cool, and it's great that we have a Uta, a mono green Uta leader that could potentially do really well at your locals because of the card draw. And I hope that in future versions of starter decks, I know like ST-12, which is the Sanji and Zoro deck, will probably bring a lot of more good stuff because there's a lot of new cards reviewed for that. We'll probably have a video once we have the full list. But for this one, if you want to pick it up, you can. Otherwise, give it a miss. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the opening. I just wanted to show you what it is. I want to give you my honest thoughts about this product specifically, so you are more well informed about what goes into the deck before you actually purchase it. So hopefully this gives you a clear understanding on the ST-11 Uta deck. Well, that's it for me for today. I hope you guys found the video useful. I know it's not something that I usually do when I really give my opinion about the state of the product, but I do think like having 80% reprints on a new starter deck that promises like a strategy based on Uta featuring new songs, and you only get like 3 new cards, 3 new event cards based on the songs. I feel like there should have been another 2 super rares in here, something really powerful. But that's it for me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about this ST-11 Uta side deck and your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Anyway, that's it for me for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.